Hi guys, welcome back to I Speak English. In today's lesson, we're going to be taking a look at some different ways that you can study for your Cambridge C1 exam that does not include a textbook. Okay, so there are lots of different ways that you can study. You do not have to buy a textbook. I think it's a good idea to have a textbook and then have many other things in tandem to that so that you don't get bored. This is the main thing. It's C1 exam, it's quite dry. There's a lot of information, a lot of vocabulary. It is a lot of work. And to keep you motivated and to keep you consistent, which is the main thing that's going to help you pass your exam, you need a variety of things. And that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to be giving you podcast recommendations, different platforms and apps that you can use. I'm going to be giving you TV shows to watch, different ways to improve your writing. All of these ways are going to help you, and you just need to find what works best for you next to the textbook, in tandem with the textbook. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. Some of these ways are free, some of these ways are paid as well, so you can kind of make your mind up that way too. Before we do take a look, please do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and please do give this video a like as well if you learned something new today and it helps you with your exam. Just helps it to get to more people, and then more C1 candidates can use it to kind of help them prepare for their exam as well. All right, let's get into these different ways to study then. Right, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to give you different parts of the exam. So we're going to be taking a look at grammar and vocabulary, listening, speaking, reading. We're going to go through each part. I'm going to show you and give you advice on things that you can use to help you study for that part of the exam. So we're going to start with grammar and vocabulary. This is a big one, especially vocabulary. There is a lot of vocab for Cambridge C1. People underestimate how much vocabulary there is, and vocabulary takes a long time to kind of get into your brain, and also that you're able to use it in a kind of productive way when you're speaking as well as or when you're writing. That's one of the main things my students say to me. Oh, I kind of know it like passively, but I never use it when I speak. So instead of using a textbook, again, textbooks are good. If you want, I've got a textbook video, you can click up there if you want, or I'll put it in the description as well, if you're looking for a good textbook. But if you want something in tandem where you can learn and kind of practice all of the vocab and the grammar from the textbook, I have actually made a new platform for you. So the first thing we're going to look at is my brand new grammar and vocabulary platform for C1. So this is the only platform available at the moment specifically for Cambridge C1 and specifically for grammar and vocabulary. So I have poured my heart and soul into this for you, and all of my teaching and all of my knowledge from the past 10 plus years of teaching this exam has gone into this app. So it's got all of the grammar and all of the vocabulary that you need to pass this exam. I'm going to show it you now in kind of live view. Let's take a look. So we've got a grammar section. Each point here kind of collocates or goes with a point from most C1 textbooks. So I've taken a look at these textbooks, and all of the textbooks have these grammar points in. So once you've learned something in your textbook, you can go here and then really practice it hard. So we've got different types of exercises. We've got this type here, which is fill in the gap. So this is your past tenses, for example. Okay. If you're not sure about your grammar, you have a grammar notes section here, and that will bring up all of your grammar. So past simple, it'll give you examples, it'll give you extra things to go with it, past continuous, past perfect, and then you also have your mastery here by the side. So when you start doing these exercises, this will go up, and you can see your percentage, how well you're doing, And once, obviously, you get 100, then you're good. So we got the explorer, something, previously unknown territory during the 1920s, right? We got 1920s, which is Finnish past, which means we need past simple. So we just added charted there. Voila, correct. Okay. She found out that the hotel something her by a significant amount. Now, let's say I put in the incorrect one. So it tells you it's incorrect, and then it also gives you the correct version and why. Okay, so past perfect. So found out that introduces a past discovery of an earlier event. Okay, so she found out that the hotel had overcharged her. That would be the correct one. Voila. Right. So we have those types of exercises. Very nice. We also have really useful exercises for keyword transformation. So if we look at I wish and if only, we have to transform the sentence here, which is exactly what you have to do in part 4. This is exactly why I made it like this, because everyone hates part 4 reading. So this is going to get you used to doing part 4 and paraphrasing, but also while you're learning grammar. And a lot of the grammar points here appear in part 4 as well. You get tested on I wish and if only, for example, always appears in part 4. Okay, so let's take a look at one anyway. I forgot my passport. We had to turn back at the airport, and we need to start with I wish. Okay, what do you guys think it is? Again, if we're not sure, we can take a look at our grammar notes here. So we've got a present regret, and we've got a past regret. So present regrets go with past simple. I wish I knew the answer. Past regrets go with past perfect. If only I had studied. Okay, so is this a present or a past regret? I'm going to say past because I forgot my passport. So we need past perfect. I wish I hadn't forgotten my passport. Ooh. Correct. Incorrect. I forgot my passport describes a regrettable past action after I wish I used past perfect. I hadn't forgotten my passport. Oh, do you know what? I forgot to add I. Okay. So again, this is another really important thing. This is why this platform's so useful. Because in the exam in part 4, if you miss one word, like I, for example, you will lose a point. You will not get that point. So the platform really helps you to concentrate. Okay, have I added every single word? Is everything spelt correctly? It will also mark it wrong if it's spelt incorrectly as well. Okay, so it really makes you concentrate, which is exactly what you have to do in part 4. Otherwise you lose the point. Okay, so I would have only got 1 point in part 4 reading there instead of 2. So, okay, right, so there's our grammar. So you can do that. We've also got multiple choice as well. If we go down, we've got linking words, for example, and you can use multiple choice here to complete the sentences. So city life offers cultural attractions, rural areas provide peace and fresh. I'd probably say on the other hand. Yes, okay. And then you can just go through it like that. Lovely. So that's our grammar. And then we also have a ton of vocabulary, okay? So we've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We've got 24 different vocab points. You can do multiple vocabulary points at the same time. So you can do health and sport and money if you want. It's up to you. We'll just stick with money for now. And then if we go down, then you have phrasal verbs, idioms, and collocations. And again, you can do all of them together if you want, or you can just stick with one. We're just going to go phrasal verbs for now. And then we've got different game types. So at the moment, we've only got multiple choice. We're going to be adding lots of different game types to this as well. So let's have a look at our multiple choice and we'll see if we can complete. So we had to out for an expensive plumber on Sunday. So remember, we're talking money here, okay? So we've got fork out for, stack out for, pile out for, save out for, okay? Again, if you're not sure, up here, vocab notes, well, you've got a list of all of your phrasal verbs for this particular topic. And here is fork out for, okay? To pay an amount of money reluctantly. I had to fork out over £500 for the car repairs. Okay, all right, so fork out for is the one. Mortgage rates have finally down after 2 years of increases. Broken down, tossed down, flipped down, gone down. I'll give you 5 seconds there. Okay, so you should have gone down. The rest don't really make sense there. We had to out for emergency dental work during the holiday. Fork out for, pile out for, stack out for, save out for. Okay, you should know this one because we just did it before. So if you get one incorrect, or you're constantly looking at your vocabulary notes, you will be tested on that thing more often. Same with the grammar as well. If you keep getting things incorrect, it will test you more often on that thing so that you can eventually get it right. Okay. So here it would be fork out for, because that was the one that we did before. Okay. Okay, so that gives you a pretty decent idea of what the platform looks like. My students have tested this for me and they've said it's really, really helped them, especially with grammar and vocabulary, just to see the amount of gaps that they've got in their knowledge. One of my students started panicking a little about her exam because she thought, oh my God, I've got so many gaps. I'm not going to be able to do this. But she's been using it over the past few months. And she's just, like, especially with writing, her writing is like night and day from when she started to now because she's using so much more vocabulary and her grammar's more correct. I'm not having to give her corrections all the time. So if you're interested in this, the link is there. I'll put the link also in the description as well. You get to try it for free. You get 3 topics, vocabulary topics to do with about 20 exercises each. And I think about the same grammar as well. You get 3 different grammar topics with 20 exercises. And then after that, you've got unlimited exercises. There's about 20,000 exercises per topic. So it's a ridiculous amount. You'll never be able to get through them all, but the idea is that you just keep going consistently and your mastery goes up, and then you'll be ready for your exam. So have a look, click the link in the description or click the link there, and you can take a look at that. That's there for you. Instead of using a textbook, you can use this instead. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the other things that we're looking at. So that was for grammar and vocabulary. Next up is exam exercises. If you want kind of reading, use of English exercises, a website that I always point my students to is Engxam.com. By the way, this is not sponsored. None of the other things here that I'm going to tell you about are sponsored at all. I don't know the people that make these things. I've never had contact with them. These are just what I tell my students to use because they're really good. So Engxam.com, it's got tons of exercises there for free. Lots of advice for writing and speaking as well. Some nice structures there. I think they also have vocabulary lists as well, but really nicely laid out. A few of the exercises sometimes are a little bit, I think, too easy, but it's really good for practice and you get to see your progress and everything. So tons of free content. They also have a paid version as well. I'm not sure how expensive it is, but if you want the extra content, you can pay for it. So Engxam.com, really lovely. I would suggest that. More exercises as well. An app is just called Cambridge English C1 CAE. I found this when I was looking a few months ago, and they have listening, reading, use of English, and I think they also have grammar as well, but the grammar's not that great. But yes, again, you can kind of use it for free, and then obviously you have to pay for the extra exercises as well. But really nice app, very highly rated, and it's on Google Play and Apple as well, so you can get it everywhere. So if you just need extra, instead of buying a textbook, you can have a go on your app, and while you're on the bus or something, or you're waiting, I don't know, in a waiting room, you can just do 5 minutes of use of English, something like that. Very useful. Right, so we've covered grammar, vocabulary, we've covered exam exercises. Next up is listening. So I've got some podcast recommendations. First of all, my own podcast. So I've been doing this, I think there's about 11 or 12 episodes out as I speak to you now doing this video. Again, I'll put the link up there, or you can search on my channel as well. So I do different topic every other week at the moment. And within the topic, there's tons of vocabulary, phrasal verbs, idioms, collocations that I use. I'm speaking just naturally, kind of talking about the topic in natural British English. And I also include a transcript and a vocabulary list with every topic. So you can see all the vocab used in context. And you also get to improve your listening skills at the same time. And comment on it and talk to me as well, because I usually do some interesting topics, so you can maybe learn something new there as well. So that's one podcast I would recommend. Go have a look at that. Second podcast I really like is Luke's English podcast. You might already know this because he's like super famous in the English world anyway. He's got like almost 2 million followers, I think. But I really like Luke's English podcast and his videos. I've watched quite a few of them. He does videos where he kind of takes British TV, like clips from British TV, and then like explains the vocabulary and the slang. I really like it when he does that. They're my kind of favourite episodes to watch. But very good follow, tons of content, really nicely done, very professional, great podcast to listen to. I would definitely recommend listening to Luke if you don't already. Although I think a lot of my followers probably do. And a third podcast I would recommend is Teach Me a Lesson. So with Greg James and Bella Mackey. So this is a BBC podcast. It is not designed for English learners. It's just for English speakers, anyone who speaks English. So it's going to be, you know, native speakers talking at their normal pace. It's not going to be, slowed down to help you. But obviously you can slow it down if it's too fast for you. But what it is basically they invite teachers onto their podcast, teachers of any topic. And then the teachers literally teach them something about their topic, something really interesting. They're like 40, 50-minute episodes. It's a really lovely podcast. I've learned quite a lot from this podcast, actually. You just learn some like bizarre stuff about different topics that you'd never think of before. So it's really nice because they're so varied, because you get lots of different topics. And I guess they include a transcript. I'm not actually sure. I've not looked for a transcript, but they probably do because it's BBC. So, but yes, Teach Me a Lesson. Search that on BBC Podcasts. Very good podcast. So they are my podcast recs for you. Now I have some TV recommendations. So the first one, Killing Eve. Amazing TV show. I'm actually watching it for the second time. Such a good series. So it's Jodie Comer, British actress, Scouse actress, and Sandra Oh, Korean-American actress. Absolutely brilliant. So Jodie plays Villanelle, who is an assassin. And Sandra plays Eve, who is an MI5 agent who is basically searching for Villanelle, and they're just like chasing each other around the world, kind of narrowly avoid killing each other, but they kind of form this bizarre relationship, and it's just, it's funny, it's witty, but it kind of keeps you on your toes as well. It can also be quite emotional. Jodie Comer is amazing in it. She speaks like 10 different languages in this. She has different accents. We know that Villanelle is from somewhere in Russia, but we don't know where, so she speaks in a Russian accent, and then she'll switch to an English accent, and then a French, and then Italian, but she also speaks all the languages as well. It's insane. Amazing. Watch it. It's incredible. It's on Netflix. I think it might be on HBO as well, I'm not sure, but definitely watch it. Fantastic for your English and just for watching in general. Next one, Big Bang Theory, standard. I mean, if you've not seen the Big Bang Theory already, you must have been living under a hole for the last 15 years. One of my favourites that I always go back to. Obviously, you'll get a lot of vocabulary about science and like kind of nerdy stuff, but it's always good for it's just an easy watch. But again, they talk normally. You can pick up some American slang and American vocabulary as well. Always a good watch. And finally, Planet Earth. Okay, my favourite. So if you like documentaries, nature documentaries, Planet Earth is one of the best ones. It's on Netflix. David Attenborough, fantastic. If you don't know David Attenborough, please Google him. I think it was his 100th birthday, not yesterday, the day before, again, as I speak to you now. But he's been doing nature documentaries for the last 80 years, and he's still doing them now, even though he's 100 years old. He's still out there in the Serengeti talking about lions and whatnot. So, yes, fantastic. Really good for learning, obviously, vocabulary about the environment, which is a big topic for Cambridge C1, but just easy to watch again, and with David Attenborough's voice, it's very easy to listen to as well. And a few more recommendations. These are kind of very much of a likeness. They are period dramas, so very British. So we've got Bridgerton, The Crown, and Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey is the oldest one out of these. This just follows like a rich family. They're like the lord and lady of whatever land they're on, and it shows you what are they called? The workers downstairs who kept the house running versus the family, and it's like the kind of dynamic between them and all the drama that goes on. So that's always fun. The Crown is the kind of dramatic telling of the royal family, since I think the Queen's coronation it starts at, and then I think it ends with maybe Princess Diana dying or something like that. I've not actually watched The Crown. I need to watch it, but I've heard good things. And Bridgerton, again, if you don't know Bridgerton, you must be living under a rock, because I think it's Netflix's best-selling or most popular series. So it is period drama, but it's also kind of up-to-date. They do like different things with their music, and they have all these pretty dresses and stuff, but again, it's like drama, gossip. It's a bit sexy as well. Always a good watch, Bridgerton. So they are my recommendations for TV. All of this TV podcasts, watch as much as you can, and your listening will go up. You won't notice, but if you do it regularly, if you watch like half an hour of TV every day in English, over a few months, your listening will be fantastic. You might not notice it, but it will be. It will improve. So any TV or podcast you can is great. Moving on to writing. Okay, a free thing that you can download from Cambridge is the Cambridge Handbook for Teachers for you. But that shows you real writing from an exam by candidates and the marking from the examiners. And it also gives you all of the marking criteria as well. So you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so definitely download that. That's really useful. And then when you are practicing writing, there is a Cambridge Write and Improve, which is a website where you basically upload your writing, and it is marked, I believe it's marked by AI. I think it's a robot that marks it. But it's decent enough. It gives you like corrections and stuff like that. If you don't want to use Write and Improve, you could just use AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. Write a quick prompt in there, say, pretend you're a Cambridge C1 examiner, please mark this in terms of the marking criteria, and then also copy and paste the marking criteria into ChatGPT along with your essay or whatever you're writing, and it will give you a mark. Not sure how accurate the mark will be, but it will at least give you grammar and spelling corrections anyway. If you want more marking, more accurate marking, I do have a essay correction service. I'll put the link up there, and you can send your essays to me, and I will correct them for you. But that's all I would do for writing, apart from actually, practicing writing. But it's really important that you get feedback, because otherwise you don't know where you're going wrong, what you're doing right, etc. Right, and that is it. They are all the things that I would recommend to do on top of your textbook. So I would recommend getting a textbook, but in tandem, make sure you're doing stuff like this. Practice your vocabulary and your grammar in a different way, not only with the textbook. Do lots of listening, TV shows, podcasts, whatever you can, and extra practice tests or exam exercises as well can be really useful. All of the links, everything I spoke about will be in the description, so make sure you look there and check out all of the things that I mentioned and see what works for you. If you have any questions about the Cambridge C1 exam or anything I mentioned in this video, just let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to take a lesson or any of my video courses, you can go to www.englishclassesonline.co.uk. And that's all from me for today. I'll see you in another episode soon. All right, bye.